welcome back to my channel. I am Ebony Evaughn, your go-to business operations strategist, here to help you grow your business with people and processes. If you cannot tell by the Notion setup, today I am back with another Notion tutorial for you. Today I am giving you 8 no-code Notion task management automations that you can use to save up to 5 hours per week. So instead of doing these things manually, I'm going to show you how to use Notion automations to automate some of the recurring tasks within your business. So for the purposes of today's training and tutorial, I have created a little mock-up content creation pipeline. I feel like this is a use case scenario that most people can relate to and that they have in their business. So I'm going to show you how you can automate a lot of the tasks that you would do within Notion in your business. So the first thing that I want to show you, and I will put timestamps down below in case you want to jump to something specific. The first thing that I want to show you is how to create recurring tasks that magically regenerate themselves. So if you are someone who posts content on a consistent schedule, you post 2 Instagram posts per week, 1 Instagram reel, 1 TikTok video, 1 YouTube video, you send out 5 emails, whatever it is, you can actually set up your database. So instead of you having to come over here and click new page and then say, I want to add an email, you can automatically have it generate and populate for you. So how you would actually do that is if you go over to your blue button on your database, you can see it says new, and then there's this little drop down arrow. Click that. And I do recommend creating templates for things in your business. I have a separate tutorial on how you do that. I'll link it up in the cards. But for every piece of content, you have like an email template, a post template, a video template, Pinterest pin template, blog post template, everything. So in order to have it where it automatically adds this to your task list, all you have to do is go to the ellipsis over here where it says edit this template, and then you can see in the little pop-up menu it says repeat is currently off. We're going to turn this on and then set our cadence for how often you want this to regenerate. So for example, if you post 1 email or you send 1 email per week, you can just click on week. And if you send your email, let's say on a Friday, you don't want this to pop up on the day the email is due and the email is supposed to send. You want it to pop up beforehand. So there's 2 different ways that you could do that. Typically, like if I send emails on a Friday, then I may say, okay, on Saturday, add a new email template so that constantly as emails are posted, there's going to be a new template added. Or you can set it up to where it's going to be added, let's say on Monday, or you can have it where it populates multiple times throughout the week. So if you send 3 emails, you may want to have 3 different times where it's going to add this. So you can set your cadence based on whatever your posting or sending schedule is. So we're just going to have this set to where every Monday we want to reset for the top of the week and have it to actually add a new email task on Monday. So you can set the time when you want this to start. If you want to have a specific end date, this is good, especially when you're working on client projects. And then you can also change the time zone if you want. And if you ever want to turn this off, all you have to do is hit stop repeating and it'll turn it off. So we're going to hit save. And once I hit save, you can now see when we go to our template, it has this little repeat weekly icon. So this is letting us know that this email template is going to be added to our database to-do list on a weekly basis. So that's the first automation that I want to show you. The next automation that I want to show you is how to add a custom date to a recurring template. So with a template, when I click on edit template, you can see that we can set a date, but if I add a date in here, the date can either be now when the template is duplicated, or the date will be today. So it will go to whatever that date is. And for a lot of people, you don't want your due date or your post date to be the same date that task is generated. Typically it's some date in the future. So a workaround for that is you can actually set up a Notion automation that will add a custom date in here. So this is what I'm going to show you for the second automation, is how to add a custom date in any date field. So for this example, this could be a post date or a due date. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here and you see this little like lightning bolt that says create and view automations. We're going to go create, and then we're going to set up a new automation. And so for our trigger, we want to set it so whenever a new page is being added, we do I want to add another? Yeah, I think I'll just leave it like that. So when a new page is added to the database, what we want to do is edit a property. So the trigger is when a page is added, we want to have it edit a property. So when a page is added, we want to edit the due date, right? And so before, you only had the option to pick a date. So the date would have to be a set date. It had to be static. But now what you could do is you could add a custom formula so that the due date can be in the future. And the way that you can do this is you can add this formula. Let's see, it says days not defined. So I want this to be date. There we go. All right. So I don't know why my date ad wasn't coming up, but this is the formula that you want to use in order to have it be 7 days in the future. So if you wanted it to be 2 days, you could put 2 and then days, or you could actually change this, as you can see down here, to where it says days, weeks, months, years, etc. So I'm going to hit save and then enable. So now whenever I add a new template to this database and it doesn't have a date, did I add this as due date? I think I put due date. You'll see that it will automatically add a date that is 7 days in the future. So let's go ahead and add an email template. And then there you go. You can see that our date has popped up. And so now the due date is automatically going to be 7 days in the future, which is March 23rd. Okay. All right. So that is how you can set up a custom due date. You can also use this for a post date, or if you have a review date, any date field that you have. So that is going to be our second automation for you. The third automation that I want to show you how to do is how to assign people based on the status of your Notion automation. And so, for example, within my business, I do have a few team members that help me out with the content creation and marketing efforts. So we have a process where, of course, I write emails. 𝗪𝘁𝗰 typically does like the social media content. I'll give her the concept, the idea. She creates the graphics and all of that. So if you are similar to that, you have people that you collaborate with, maybe a graphic designer, web designer. If you have a video editor, you can actually set up to where people can be assigned based on the roles or status of different tasks. So for example, all right, so let's say that I just finished writing this email marketing tips email, and now that I am done writing it, it is ready to be added into our email service provider, which is Kit, formerly known as ConvertKit. So whenever an email is done, I want it to be assigned to 𝗪𝘰 so that 𝗪𝘰 can actually go post it, right? So in order to set up an automation for this, we're going to go back over to our automation icon, the little lightning bolt. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to click add new automation. And what I want to do is set my trigger. So my trigger for this one is going to be status. So the status is going to be not all of these. When the status is to post, we're going to automatically assign this to 𝗪𝘰. So whenever the status is changed to post, done. What do you want to do? I want to edit property, and we're going to edit people. Where is that? Am I tripping? Oh, person. All right. So we're going to edit person, and then we're going to change it to Rennie. All right. So we're going to hit enable. So now you will notice that whenever a task is changed, the status is changed from draft to post, it will be assigned to Rennie. So now we have our email marketing tips. I'm going to change this from draft to post, and you'll see the person assigned is going to change from me, and it is now assigned to Rennie. So Rennie will be able to know this is ready to post. Notion does send like updates within Notion itself whenever you're tagged into something, but let's say that you also wanted to send notifications, you can automate that process as well. So you will get notifications from Notion itself. Each user within Notion can set up their account to where you could also get notifications by email. So you can have it anytime activity occurs within your Notion workspace. Notion will send you an email, or you can set it up where you get a daily summary as well. But let's say that you want to get an email or you want to get a Slack notification, you can do that as well. So now what I'm going to do is actually set up an automation for how to send a Slack notification when a project status changes within Notion automations. So for example, let's say that Rennie has written this 5 productivity hacks Instagram carousel, and it is ready for review. Instead of me changing this to review right now, I'm going to actually set up an automation to send me a Slack notification that this email is ready for a review. So we're going back to our little lightning bolt, create and view automations, new automation. The trigger for this is going to be a status change, similar to the last automation we set up, and then this time we're going to use in review. So whenever the status is changed to review, what we want to do is actually send a Slack notification. So I'm clicking on new action to do, and then I'm going to go to send Slack notification. And so you can see that I already have like send email and send Slack in here. But if this is your first time, you may have to actually connect Slack or connect your Google Workspace before you will be able to use these. And I'm not for sure if they automatically show or not either. So you may have to connect these first if you don't see them. So I'm going to click on send Slack notification. And then you can see it says select Slack channel. So I'm just going to go, I have to connect Slack. Okay, girl. All right, there we go. Okay, so now you can see it's sending me a ding already. So now you can see that it's going to send me a notification in Slack whenever something is now posted for review. So let's go ahead and hit enable on that. And now, Rennie, let's also set a automation for changing the status. Add automation. We're going to change the status. When a status is changed to in review, we're also going to edit the property so that, I don't know why people are, I forgot this is in my real database. I copy this. I don't know why persons is down here. Okay, so now I'm also going to add automation to where if the status is changed to review, it's going to change person to Ebony, so it'll then be assigned to me as well. So we got that set up. So now what I want to do is we're going to go back to 5 productivity hacks. We're going to change this status. It's done by Rennie. It's already written. It's ready for review. when it changes to review, you can see that it also changes now to me. And then as you can hear, it is also sending me a Slack notification. So that is how you can send a Slack notification. You can also do this same process when it comes to sending emails. So let's say that when a status is changed to in review, I also want to get a Google email. So I'm going to go back into the same automation. Let's go to this one, send a notification. I'm going to edit this. So one thing you will notice is within automations, you could have multiple triggers. You could also have multiple actions that happen. And so not only do I want to have a notification go to my Slack to let me know that something is ready for review, I wanted to send me an email as well. So it would be the same process as setting up a Slack notification, but instead of Slack, we're going to select email. And this is pretty new. It works pretty good. We're going to go ahead and hit send email instead. So when the status is changed to in review, I wanted to send me an email. So it already has my email address in there. The to field is going to be to me. You could also CC people. So if you're the person that's setting this up, maybe you wanted to go to a VA or your graphic designer, editor, social media manager, whatever. And then you can also create a template for what the email says. So we're just going to say, open up. Then here, I would not say this in real life. This task is ready for review. All right. But you can actually set this up. Let me know if you want to see a separate tutorial, because within these emails, you can actually add like variables and things like that. So if you want to customize this a little bit further, you can do that with variables and formulas and all that other stuff. But that would make this video entirely too long. So let me know if that's something that you want to see. And then you could also set, like, if you want replies to go to you or to a specific person, you can set that up as well. You can set the display name or whatever. So we're going to just hit done there. And then now whenever status is changed to in review, it's going to change it to assign to me in here. And it's also going to send me a Slack notification as well as a Gmail email. All right, so the next automation that I want to show you is how to add default tasks in Notion using automation. So there is actually two different ways that you can do this. So again, I talked about how we create templates for everything. So within my template, so for example, let me go maybe like my YouTube video one, and go to edit. So you can see that within my template for a YouTube video, it has some default properties that are already set. So I do have multiple channels. So I have a business channel and a travel channel. So if I'm adding this on my business page, it's automatically going to add business YouTube. The status is going to be idea. And the media type is going to automatically be default video because we are adding a video, right? So these are going to be set to default anytime we add this template to our database. But you could also do this with automations as well. I prefer doing it with the template method, but you could do this in automations. So in order to add default task properties, what you want to do is go back to our little handy dandy lightning bolt, create and add automation. We're going to click new automation. This part of the process should be down packed by now. And so what we want to do is add our trigger. Our trigger is going to be when a new page is added. So we're going to add our action, which is going to be to edit properties. So whenever we add new content, let's say we want to automatically have our status default to not started, or maybe I typically do idea because sometimes I'll add ideas and I'm not really sure like if it's going to become a piece of content or not. So we can say we want to default the status to idea. Let's say we also want to, what else would be something that would be pretty static? The content, the media. Let's do person. Let's say the first person that it's going to go to is going to be 𝗪𝗁𝗁, which 𝗪𝗁𝗁 is my virtual assistant. So she helps out a lot when it comes to content and things like that. And then 𝗪𝗁𝗁 is our marketing assistant. He helps out with SEO, YouTube, and stuff like that. All right, so let's say that anytime we add to a page, we want the default status to be idea and the default person to be 𝗪𝗁𝗁. So we're going to hit enable. And then now, whenever I add a new page to the database, it's automatically going to have the status as idea and the person assigned to be 𝗪𝗁𝗁. So let's hit new page. And then we'll just call this, we'll call this test post. And you can see the due date is 7 days from now. It's flagged as an idea, and the assigned person is 𝗪𝗁𝗁. So again, the reason why I like using templates instead of just adding any new page is because you do have a lot of different variables that you can add. So you can see, because we just added this, we would still have to say like this is an email and all the other stuff, versus if you're using a template, then I could just hit, hey, add video. And then when we hit add video, idea and video are already there. And then we have our template set up inside of this. So inside, I'm doing a separate video on my entire YouTube marketing strategy and planning process. But essentially, you can see it has the icon here. We have a template for video, thumbnail ideas, and then like our checklist, our description, SEO, upload checklist, and then pinned comments. So using templates, in my opinion, is a lot better than using automations, but you can use automations to add default settings to your properties. All right, so let's keep it moving. I believe we are on automation number 7. And this is another one where you can set up an automation. So you can see when it comes to the status here, we have a status. Let's go to edit properties. The status can be not started, idea, planning, to outline, draft, record, edit, and review, post, scheduled, and published. So you may want to have it to where, okay, let's say when the status is changed to published, we want our scheduled, we want to make sure that we get this off of our board and we know that it's done. And so how I actually do this is by setting up this little checkbox over here. If this is checked, then this means that this piece of content is done. As you can see, it disappears when I hit the check mark. Let's bring that back. But you can have it to where this will automatically check done if you haven't checked it, if it is complete. And so what I like to do is set up an automation that is, whenever the status changes to scheduled or published, it automatically marks it as done. So we're going back to our automation, new automation. We're going to set up our trigger. Our trigger is going to be when a status changes. And for this one, we're going to have 2 different options. So anytime the status changes to scheduled or published, then we consider it done. It could go off our radar. So we're going to hit done here. And then what do we want to do? We want to edit the status for done. Where's done? There's done. So we want to set the status to checked, and then that's going to remove it from our to-do list. So we know it, we don't have to worry about it anymore. So we're going to hit enable. So now if I come over here, let's say, okay, we have this email marketing tips that I've already written, and then 𝗪𝗁𝗁 came in here and saw it's ready to post. Now she is going to go ahead and schedule it to go out, and it has been scheduled. When we change this to schedule, you will see this will check and then it will disappear because it's no longer needed to be on our radar. So that is how you can set up to automatically mark a task as done based on the status, if it's published or scheduled. Now, I know I said I was going to show you no code task automations, but I do want to show you one more task automation that it does have a script, but it's not code, okay? It's going to be using a formula, but this is something that my clients ask me about all the time, especially after doing like my Notion tours and stuff, and people are like, wait, how do you get this overdue in here with a little exclamation? So I'm going to show you how you can flag a task or project as overdue so that it is on your radar. And so in order to do this, what we want to do is actually add a new property to our database. And so I'm going to click the little plus sign over here. We're going to add a property that says overdue. And then once I add this, I'm going to change the type to a formula. And then we want to edit our formula. So for the formula for this, I'm going to put this in the comments. Or you could just like screen grab so you know what it is. But basically the formula is going to be, oh, why do you always do that to me? What is not here? Due date. Come on. And get rid of this. All right. And then status. Come on. All right. There we go. Okay, so this is going to be the formula that you want to use. If your naming is a little bit different, you want to make sure that it's, so if you have like to-do date or something like that, make sure that you use the right properties and then status or whatever. And so essentially what this says is if the due date is past today's date, then we know that our project is going to be overdue. And so basically what I'm doing is having to add this little exclamation mark, which is the double exclamation mark emoji. And then I'm going to put overdue over here. And so we know, hey, this needs some attention. All right, so let's hit save. All right, and so now that we have that, let's move. I like to have overdue all the way over here at the top. It doesn't need all that space. I'm going to bring this in a little bit. All right, so now you can see that we have this overdue category. And what I want to do is, so our due date for this is in the future. I'm going to change this to a previous date so you can see what it looks like when it adds this automation. But essentially what it's going to do is I'm going to change this to, let's say this was due on the 14th. You can see when I change the date, it now adds this overdue over here. And so I've already showed you how to send notifications. So let's say if something is overdue, you could also add an automation to say, hey, if a task becomes overdue, then send me a reminder or send me a Slack notification or email as well. So there you have it, you guys. Those are the 8 task automations that you can use in your business starting today to help you save time when it comes to managing tasks and projects within your business. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more Notion tutorials just like this, make sure you check out my Notion for Business playlist. And if you are interested in grabbing some of my Notion templates, I do have templates for business management dashboard, email marketing planners, content planners. I'm working on a new marketing standalone one. There is a marketing hub inside of the business dashboard, but I'm working on one specifically for content creators. So be on the lookout for that soon. Otherwise, I just want to say thank you guys so much for stopping by my internet home. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you'll be the first one to get notified anytime I post another Notion tutorial just like this. Bye, guys.